Still ahead tonight on Time Warner Cable 8 News at 7. Feeling blue? Well, in tonight's Creative Connections, we'll show you some photography that is sure to make you smile. That's coming up after the break. Be right back. Many people are bird watchers, but one amateur photographer took his passion to a new level. He has created some of the most famous photographs of bluebirds and ospreys, which is the same title of his exhibit at the Roger Tory Peterson Institute. Cable 8's Katie Cummings has more in tonight's Creative Connections.
His most iconic photograph is known as the Mad Bluebird. It was so popular that National Geographic used it as the cover to a brochure advertising their book, Wonder of Birds. The photo came to fruition one winter day.
I had a remote where I could fire the camera from inside the house because it was cold and everything else. Every time he'd land on it, I would take a picture. But this one particular time, I knew he was looking right at the camera, and I pulled the trigger, and basically everything else is history.
His images featuring bluebirds and ospreys have helped increase awareness about them and the conservation efforts necessary to sustain and grow their populations. The Maryland native's path to photography started when he was younger.
I started in junior high taking pictures, helping a guy take pictures of basketball games. And I went on to high school and was able to, for my newspaper route, buy a good camera, but it was a twin lens reflex and it wasn't adapted for wildlife, but I wasn't taking wildlife then, and I used to shoot weddings and things like that.
His focus turned to these particular bird species as his interest in photography grew. To learn more about the birds and attract them to his backyard, he created a makeshift birdhouse.
Instead of putting a bluebird house up, I took a log and hollowed the top out and made it look like a dead tree with a bluebird nest or a woodpecker nest in it. And then they came along and used it. And I put a prop up out front that they would land on first and then go into the box.
Smith became an avid observer and photographer of birds, which led him to learn more about their habits.
You have to take in consideration the bird and not to disturb it to where you scare it away and things like that, so you have to do everything over a long period of time. And as you learn the bird's habits and what it's afraid of and what it isn't, and I've learned some of their voices and what they mean, and so that made it a lot easier.
50 of his photographs will be on display at the Roger Tory Peterson Institute till June 12th. With your Creative Connections, I'm Katie Cummings.